Because all you talk about, you're uncertain about Justin Herbert, but you get on the floor for this clown. He's a bum. He's trash, and you know it. And every time you bring him up, I'm going to let the world know exactly.
That's directed at FC Metz. Big up, everybody, and welcome to Strasbourg Steve for a Liga mid-season review with my guy, Jorge. Glad we're not finally doing this. It's actually the perfect time to do the mid-season review because it is exactly the mid-season of Liga. It is match day 17. Lens beat Toulouse today 3-0, courtesy of goals from Wesley Saïd, Adrien Thomasson, and Ismaël Gagnon, because Emerson got a red card in the 23rd minute. And we got quite a lot to talk about with the league as per usual. But before I get into any of that, Jorge, how are you doing? Everything blessed?
Everything was good. This holiday season went pretty well. Very quiet. And I'm just glad that Ligue 1's back. I don't have to deal with EPL all weekend long.
All right.
War fests. Oh, yesterday was so bad.
Yeah, that's yeah, not great, but
3-0. Oh,
yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, that's facts. But yeah, so I mean, there's only one place to start. Lens are top of the league, and if we also reference what I predicted for Lens, which is 9th so far, and you predicted them 10th, clearly we know nothing because they are top and they are. I mean, I don't want to say that they are completely safe and secure for a Champions League third place spot at the worst, but it's not too far off of Jorge. These guys have been outstanding.
They've been outperforming everything. Obviously, they lost the first game of the season to us, but
they played well in the game, though.
They did very, very well. I think it's a surprise, which we'll get to later on. This team, which had no budget, no nothing, and was able to flourish and competing with PSG for a title. Now, will they be able to get the title? We shall see for the rest of the season. But if PSG drops points against Lens, Marseille, Lille, us, maybe even Strasbourg, Lens might have that shot, might have that chance to finally get the title. And props to Pierre Sage for what he's been doing, getting this team gelled. And today actually embodies it, still going 3-0 against Toulouse in Toulouse, which is not an easy place to go to, and getting through. Because usually you think a winter break, things change. Usually it's like a hot and cold kind of seasons, for some teams, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it came straight out right hot from the start. So, and they're going to end mid-season, the winter season as winter champions, because they will be the top of the table by the end of the weekend.
Yeah. No, and you talked about them not having a budget. I mean, they've been selling their better players for the past 4 years. Like, Dansol, Przemysław Frankowski, Wahi, Openda, Saleh Abdulhamid. Like they've been
off a lot of good talent.
So many. Yeah.
But also, let's keep in mind there's another focus here. They got their own stadium. They have the rights to their own stadium, which is a huge deal because most teams in France don't own their stadium. It's owned by the government. Only a few teams like Lyon and like Lens in this case, and I believe Lille as well, own their stadium. So they have all the revenues to themselves, not towards the government itself. So that's a huge deal for Lens as well. Big deal.
Yeah. So no, they've been extremely impressive. I did think the only thing they lack is probably they need to score a few more goals. But I mean, Florian Thauvin for me has been probably the best player in Liga. There's a debate for that, but I mean, Tauvin's been outstanding. Ryan Fofana, Udol has probably been the other probably most consistent player, just constantly creating danger. Very good crosser. Great defense, good manager.
I think they just need maybe just a little bit more depth. Maybe a little bit more depth.
Yeah.
So they have their starting 11. If they ever need to rotate, or God forbid there's an injury, they have someone to fill in to that spot that can easily just go right into the team easily. But at depth, if they can, obviously, if they are able to sell maybe a player or two to get that kind of quality talent in, that would be great. So maybe for me, if they can get the depth to be able to go further in Liga, to be able to challenge, then by all means, they should go get it. But I think depth is probably their biggest hurdle at this time.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Now we'll talk about second place, PSG. Why are they second place, Jorge? Besides the obvious, I think the obvious is injury problems and concerns, but
I just think it's the club. I think the Club World Cup affected them. They went deep in the competition. They went to the finals. So they didn't really have also a preseason. They only had like a game or two before heading into the Ligue season. And I think it's also just the amount of games that they had so far this season with both Champions League, Intercontinental Cup, Club World Cup, all that kind of stuff. I think a lot of it's just been hitting the fan recently. And they didn't really get the players. They didn't really get many players. I think they got the Bournemouth center back,
Zabarnyi,
and I think that's about it for their summer signings. They didn't really make much splash in the cash.
Chevalier.
True.
Chevalier
that's about it.
Well.
That's about it. I think it's probably those are the two big players that they got, and I think that's about it. So I think for them, I think they were just like, you know what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So there is possibly they might want to get some more players, but we'll see. But for the moment, they really do have a stacked squad that can challenge in all fronts, including the Champions Leagues as well. So as long as they can keep their players healthy, they can actually make a good impact. I just think it's just because the amount of games in the beginning with the Club World Cup definitely has affected them in terms of injury-wise with the players.
That's fair. Yeah, the depth is obviously really good, but in certain games, like they just don't look like they're on the same page with each other. When any combination of the three, and I mean, like Mayulu's played a ton of games this year. It'll be like Mayulu, Kvaratskhelia, Barcola. Then the next game it'll be Dembele,
Ramos.
Yeah, and then the next game it'll be Doué, Mayulu. What's another one? Barcola. You know what I mean? Like I feel like they haven't. I don't know if Enrique knows the best 11.
That's what I was gonna say. He doesn't have his best 11, especially his front three.
They also had to incorporate Zaire Emery into the team, but then again, he's been playing a lot at right back because of Hakimi's injuries, which has been a big issue. And Nuno Mendes has been injured a lot as well.
Yeah, exactly. So
Lucas Hernandez had to play there. They do look a bit tired, but they've still looked largely very good. But there does seem to be a bit of a drop off. They can't like take Lens lightly at this point, though. Like they are involved in a title fight. Like there's nothing. They can't take it for granted that they're just going to go and walk the league.
No, and keep in mind, look at their schedule. They play Paris FC this weekend. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's a derby. Yeah.
Derby. Then midweek they have to travel all the way to Kuwait to play their Trophée des Champions against Marseille.
Yeah.
And luckily, the following weekend is Coupe de France. But I think that's also against a derby.
4-day rest. Yeah.
So it's two derbies, actually three derbies in a span of a week.
Then a huge game against Ligue. 4 days later. And then 4 days later you play Sporting. And then 3 days later you play Alger.
Yeah, so their January is going to be stacked. So we'll see how it goes. But that first 3 games is going to be big because 2 of them are against.
I think this 3-game stretch is when I'll have my mind made up if they're going to actually lose the league or not. Strasbourg away, Marseille at home, and Rennes away.
Oh, yeah.
I think those are crucial, especially towards like February. Like they need to go 3 for 3 in that.
Because let's face it, in order for Lens to win the league, they're going to have to get help from the other teams. Case in point, Paris FC possibly, maybe, probably not. Lille, Marseille.
Lens away is the 4th to last game of the season.
Lyon. So I would think in the coming days, Strasbourg and Marseille are probably going to be where they could possibly, and I say possibly, drop points. And that can be an opportunity for Lens to get some breathing room for their for where they're at. So that's how they're going to have to win the league, is by having everyone else help them, because that's the only way they can do it.
Yeah, they're going to have to just ride it out. Marseille started off the season on complete fire, was just obliterating teams. Guiri got injured around October, November-ish time. Had a bit of a dip. They're now 8 points behind. Do you rule them out? The league title race?
Well, keep in mind we both had them at 2nd, and they're at 3rd right now, so we're not too far off. For the league,
title,
I think league title, they're out. I think they're out. They're too far away, unless if they beat PSG again, and somehow PSG and Lens.
Marseille play Lens in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, they would have to face against those other 2 on the top in order for them to
3 weeks. Sorry, 3 weeks. They host Lens. Fucking massive game. Jesus,
that's a big game. Yeah.
Lyon's
starting off on a banging foot, but yes, they could.
And Lille in 4th. That's a bit of a surprise because I believe both of us.
I put him
7th.
I put him in 7th, and you put him at 6th.
Yeah.
So
yeah. You know what?
I think they're the surprise.
They've been very good defensively. Very good.
I think their offense needs a little work, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
But I think for me, let's talk about my team. The team that was supposed to be relegated from Ligue 2 because it's John Texter. Michel Kane saves the club and allows the people that run the club run it properly, gets the right players in, good prices, and reduces the wage bill. And at this moment in time is the 3rd best defense in the league, and with the most clean sheets. So for me,
Greif has been a great signing for you guys.
They can definitely be considered a surprise because no one would expect them to be able to be up there in those European places, and being in 1st in Europa League too. Let's put it that way as well, because we're talking about Europe. So for me, they are a surprise team, but I'm not going to be putting them in as my surprise team. But it can be definitely one of those that are surprising because they were so financially strapped because of what John Texter did. A $200 million loss last season. That's a lot.
Yeah.
So to get that 100 million plus in profits, reduce the wage bill by 50%, the DNCG this past December passed them with flying colors, able to do transfers, but still under a wage embargo, which is perfectly fine because they have to reduce the wages anyways. But they don't have to sell players to get a player, because that's how it was in the summer. Now they can just buy players. They don't have to sell anyone. That's a big deal. And they're in the right trajectory financially with huge profits that they're going to have once they release it soon, the first half of the season. So, and what Paulo Fonseca has done so far, with the fact that he can't even be on the touchline throughout 2/3 of so far this, like a third of the season.
Yeah.
Only do it till like the end of November. So, it's definitely a good surprise in my opinion. Do I think they're going to get top 4? I hope so. That's my 2026 resolution is they get top 4, at least make a deep run in the Europa League and the Coupe de France. Do not get tripped up by any of those lower teams. And to make a good run and hopefully win a trophy, whether it be our best bet, Europa League or Coupe de France. I would love Europa League because the teams this year in the Europa League aren't as strong. I think Villa's probably the only one. Roma. Any more?
Or Stuttgart are a good side. Stuttgart are good.
Porto, Roma, Stuttgart.
Porto have been awesome this year. Yeah, unfortunately.
Aston Villa, Forest. If we can try
even Forest are.
Yeah, but in Europe, they're a different thing.
Yeah.
If we can try to avoid them or try to find a path for us to get an easier, and I'm saying that in quotes because it's all blurred, but easier path for Lyon to get to the finals, by all means, I'll do it. Because I think this would be a good year to do it if we can get the depth that we need to like up front. With Endrick now, once we're done with the league phase, Endrick can play in the knockout. And Endrick, as the train is done, will depart scoring goals for us because he is going to be our main striker that we've been looking for the rest of the season because Satriano's just not kicking it right now. I think for another 2026 resolution is Endrick is going to score at least, I think, 10 plus goals in all competitions. I'm aiming for at least 15 to me, but that's a little ambitious. I'll stick to double digits for him.
Yeah, double digits. Yeah.
That'll help
and
him.
Just play good. And just play good.
And play good. Help him get the minutes that he needs for
Big up, Luke.
Get the minutes that he needs to get into the Brazil squad, to get to World Cup, and just get the minutes that he needs so he can show Real Madrid and Xabi Alonso, look what you're missing out. So yes, it's one of the best pieces of business, and it wasn't even done, but it was done before the winter transfer window started. But this so far, we needed a striker, and we got it. So I'm happy about that right now. So yes, enough about my team. I'm sorry, that went a little over, but yeah, that's a surprise of the team so far that we're seeing in the league. Because
I actually had you guys third, so
I had it fourth. So we're not too far off to where they're at. I think
Long's being way above what we thought has pushed everything one down, basically.
I think they can still get fourth. I think that realistically fourth or third is still on the table.
Yeah,
they just have a good momentum and not lose.
Yeah.
Or don't make dumb decisions to get a red card because they had the most red cards.
Leon have had a bunch of fucking reds. Yeah.
And when they have a red card and they're a man down, they never win. So don't make dumb decisions. That's another resolution. Those are my 3. For them to go deep in the competition and win a cup, Endrick to score 10 plus goals, and to not fucking be stupid and get red cards. So yeah, there we go.
It's pretty fair.
That's fair. I think that's fair. But yeah. Next up,
Stade Rennais. I'm surprised that they overcame how awful they were at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, but keep in mind, you had them at 8th. I had them at 6th, and so far my thing has been right. I think Habib has done a decent job. Obviously, he didn't start well, but as soon as he got that threat under it, things started to click, and that's when they shoot up the table. So,
well, he dropped Ludovic Blas for a game against Toulouse, and he also dropped Ludovic Blas and Seko Fofana. That sent a message to the squad that he wasn't messing around.
Yeah.
Rennes, by the way, were involved in one of the crazier games of this season with Nantes.
It's against Brest.
That derby. No, I mean, that game was crazy too.
Oh my God.
Nah, the game against Nantes was nuts. The ending to that game, and then it was this. Like, I remember this one because Nantes were they looked like a high school team in the first half. Nantes were looking like a high school team, and Rennes were looking like the most amazing team you ever. Like it was bad. It was bad. And I was like, okay, Nantes are going to just get crushed like 4-0 in like your derby. And it was like, that's pathetic. But
yeah,
Rennes missed too many fucking chances. Then it was second half. Mwanga scores, then El Arabi scored 90+6 minute. And then there was all this shit in between. It was remarkable. So that was an insane game. That game against Lyon was pretty incredible too. That 4-0. So I feel like Rennes are involved in quite some crazy games. They smoked us. Rennes just have a lot of variation in their.
They can either lose badly or they play good.
Yeah.
It's just
weird.
Yeah.
Been on a great winning run for the most part, besides the PSG 5-0 trouncing.
That's just how it is.
Which they had chances early in the PSG game, but they didn't take them.
Yeah.
They just did not take them. But yeah, Renner. I said 8th. You have them set. You had them 6th. They are 6th. So
yeah,
they're doing all right. Now
let's talk about your team.
Strasbourg.
The floor is yours.
I mean, blue collar just embarrassing. I never wanted them in the first place. I don't like being part of a multi-club model. I don't think anyone does. I think the only people that like multi-club models
are billionaires.
Are the freaking people who actually benefit financially off them. It's pointless, dude. We're playing OGC Nice tomorrow, and we've got rumors that Liam Rosigne is going to be Chelsea's manager like after the Man City game. So if you're freaking Valentin Barco, if you're Joaquin Panicelli, if you're Manuel Omega, if you're Ismael Ducouré, if you're Samuel Morabet, or if you're Mike Penders, or whoever you are in the Strasbourg dressing room, like what's the motivation tomorrow for playing for a guy that's not going to be there next week apparently? But then what if it doesn't happen? Then it was like, oh, it was all that for nothing. It's like there's no stability when it's just like your feeder club can just take whoever the hell they want away from my club whenever they need it because of their fuck ups, because of their mismanagement, their awful sporting directors and owners. But they're awful.
It's 2 directors at once, remember?
Yeah, it's the sporting directors. Yeah. So it's just a horribly mismanaged situation that we're caught in the middle of. And it's fucking irritating because this is what I saw. This is foreshadowing of this is what I saw happening. And this is why I don't predict us to win Liga, and why all these blue coast sexuals were telling me should be grateful. All these other Liga clubs go bankrupt. It's like, name me a Liga club that went bankrupt. Like, what are you talking about? That because recently, because it was like, oh, Blue Coast saved Strasbourg when the Media Pro deal fell through. And it was like, well, these other freaking clubs are here. Nantes were apparently about to go bankrupt. No, they didn't. They still have the same terrible owner there. So it's just a bunch of nonsense. I don't like it. I'd rather just go back to the way it is. We're not going to win any trophies with Blue Co. I hope we do, but we're not gonna, because they don't care.
You don't think you're going to win the
conference?
Oh,
it makes me care a bit less, to be honest.
Do you even think Conference League you have a shot? I think.
No, yeah. I look, when Strasbourg play, I want us to win. I focus on one game. Can we win? Then we react to whatever happens. Then we move on. Mm-hmm. I can't do no long-term. Bro, I don't know who my manager's going to be. Jorge, I don't know who my manager's going to be next week. I don't know if the manager's still going to be here. Like, I don't mind it happening naturally. If all of a sudden Juventus were like, hey, we're going to take Liam Rosigne off you. It's like, you know what? You pay the compensation. That's just how it goes. This is the parent club or the feeder club willingly taking something away, and it's like, yo, you fuckers are supposed to help us, allegedly. That was the whole sell. Oh, we'll get you better players. You get time with our really good academy players. We're helping you. You're not helping. You're just taking away with whatever we do good because of your incompetence. So it's not fun. There's no gain in it for us, short, medium, or long term. There hasn't been.
So
We won a Coupe de la Ligue in 2018-19 when we beat En Avant Guingamp. And we didn't have Blue Co. Look who's top of the freaking table. One of the teams with one of the smaller budgets in the league. So they don't need Blue Co to compete for a league title. Why are we 17 points behind them? So not managed better than them. Lons are a much better run club. Hell of a lot less money, but that doesn't matter. So, but with Strasbourg, we played some enjoyable games. We've also had some extremely boring ones, like the 0-0 versus Lorient. Even some of our wins were boring. The game against Metz the derby win was boring. It was amazing to win at last minute, but then we played the game against Monaco, game against Marseille, which lost both. Drew at Paris 3-3. Paris Saint-Germain 3-3. Incredible, but it just feels all in fucking vain, and it's just it's just annoying. It's just fucking annoying. But anyways, I gotta speed up through this kind of. Monaco, I'm very surprised that they're kind of down here like that, if I'm honest. Because I think you had Monaco third, and I had them fourth, to be fair.
Let's be honest, there's just been too much turmoil over there.
They can't find a striker that just consistently bangs in goals, and their discipline's also poor.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's good enough. Turnaround has just been not great. Their owners trying to sell the club. There's just a lot of things going on behind the scenes. It's just not been great. But if we want to, we can skip all the way down to the bottom for relegation if you want to do that instead.
Yeah, but like briefly, Toulouse have been really decent, honestly. I think they're pretty adaptable in game. Not great today, but they played us pretty easily. So Toulouse are good watches. I got some nice players. Angers plays some really lovely football as well. I've really enjoyed watching them. That's probably one of the more enjoyable teams to watch in Liga. And apparently you guys are going to sign their midfielder, Abdelli.
Possibly.
Right? Algerian.
But they're looking at sell him for $4 million when he has 6 months left in his contract. But that's a whole different.
This should be like $1 or $2 million.
Yeah. Anyways, the one team that really is, if you're seeing the table here, guys, Nice. And we got to talk about them because it's run by Ineos, the same team that is partially owned of Manchester United.
Both of them are terrible.
This is another example of multi-ownership gone wrong. Where a team
and they don't even exchange players or managers or nothing. That's the crazy part.
This is where Jim Ratcliffe is not impressed by Nice's playing of games. Doesn't go to the game sometimes because he doesn't like their style of football. Literally, he has ignored Nice completely, and it shows.
Yeah,
I think it was 9 games.
9 losses in a row.
And in the worst team in Europe and the worst streak in Europe for European football, it cost Frank Hayes, who's a very good coach, mind you, his job for Claude Puel for the rest of the season.
Who's rubbish.
Goes to show you the kind of
boring defensive coach. Don't have any time for him.
Yeah. So.
And then briefly as well about Lorient are doing far better than I thought. They can play some nice attacking stuff as well. So shout out to them. They've got 19 goals. That's not a bad return. They've had some crazy results like beating Stade Rennais 4-0. Mm-hmm. They got a draw against Paris Saint-Germain as well.
That's
They 1-1 draw versus PSG. Played well in that game as well. So shout out Lorient for doing Way better than I thought. Jorge said 16th.
Yeah.
I had them 14th, actually, on the 12th.
And for me, Paris FC. While you talked about Lorient, let's talk about Paris FC. They bought some experienced players for France. But honestly, their striking force is not the best, which is why they're in their respective team that they have. And they also
play good football too, though, I will say.
And they also
especially Cabal. Cabal is so fun to watch, man, on the right or left. He's good.
And they have one of the most richest owners in the world in Arnault family, so with Red Bull. So Paris should hopefully in 2026 go up the table. But for the two promoted teams of Lorient and Paris to be where they're at is remarkable. Now, as for the other three candidates, I think Nantes, we're not surprised. They've been going downhill.
They've been doing this for years.
They've been doing it for years. Metz, ultimate yo-yo team, and they pretty much suck. Auxerre, what's the say about it? They don't score good enough goals. Let's just put it that way. So, there's a lot of teams that we are pretty much close by to what we're thinking of. Hopefully that changes and our predictions are correct by the end of it. But let's move on to something that is, instead of looking at a miserable table, let's talk about something else.
Yes.
Your player mid-table of the season.
Player of the
season?
Who's
your player of the season so far? So anything can change it between now and then, but your mid-table player of the season.
I'll go Florian Thauvin.
Great choice.
I'll go Florian Thauvin.
I
think he is the spark that Lens need in their attack.
And he's a leader. He's a leader for once. He can
lead. And he's carried the team on his back before.
And that's the one that Pierre Sage relies on.
Yeah.
Simple as that. My mid player of the season is Vitinha. Without Vitinha in the lineup for PSG, nothing flows well. And you've seen it without a Vitinha. So for me, it's Vitinha. Your coach?
Pierre Sage. Has to be.
I think I can agree with you on that.
No and budget. If it isn't Pierre Sage, then it's freaking I'd say Fonseca.
Good shout there.
Considering the financial kind of nonsense he's had to deal with, and the fact that Nuama has been injured, Fofana is injured.
Striker, a very terrible striker, but very little striker.
Yeah.
You can also say,
and also Clinton Mata and who's the other center back? I forget his name.
Niakate.
Yeah, Niakate has been injured for a minute, right?
No, he's in AFCON. Clinton Mata is
AFCON,
but Niakate is with Senegal still. But
Mata was injured though for a little bit, wasn't he?
A little bit.
I remember a game that Testament had to get subbed on and play center back for a bit.
But he's better now. He's actually been playing, been training. He's gonna be probably playing tomorrow against Monaco. So that's great for us. Great news for us. Pierre Sage is a good shout out. Fonseca is a very good shout out because keep in mind Fonseca, for people that don't know, he had a 9-month touchline ban.
Yeah.
So he couldn't even go into the locker room post game to help guide them. He had to rely on his assistant to spread the word. So those are two good shout outs. Most surprising team, whether good or bad?
I'll be honest, like I was gonna say, like, well, okay. So I'm debating between Nice and Monaco because I expected more out of Monaco this year. Don't get me like I did not envision them if you told me in August before the season started, like, yo, Monaco are gonna fire Eddie Hutter, they can't find any consistent midfield pairing or center backs, and strikers just can't. Nobody can score goals. Nobody can make that 9 spot themselves. Biereth doesn't score anymore. Balogun is on and off. If you told me that would happen compared to Nice being 13th, I'd be like, Nice being 13th is the more, I don't think that's crazy. So my most surprising bad team of the year is so far Monaco with 9th.
I can see that.
I don't look at Nice and I don't look at Nice's squad and I'm like, oh wow, you just littered with talent. I just thought Frank Heis could do Frank Heis things, and
that's the reason why I put them as my surprising team as the bad side.
That was fair.
Frank Heis has done a very good job when he was at Lens with a very little budget. And he had pretty much a similar situation here at Nice. And he has not been able to do anything with it. I think it was a very bad decision for him to go to Nice. I really wish he would have to a different Ligue 1 team than that, because he has a good quality coach. And for him to have that kind of run of form with no help from the ownership at all, no help from the upper echelons with anything, he had to do it on his own. And obviously the sporting director is Florian Maurice, and he's not. And his choice of players are usually a hit or miss, either really good or really, really bad. There's no in between with that. And for me, having the worst record in Europe, in France, is kind of embarrassing. It helps it overall with our coefficients. They're the anchor that is going to chop us. If we don't get 5 spots, it's because of Nice and how they were performing.
It's solely Nice's fault. Yeah,
it would be Nice's fault, because everyone else, as we're going to continue with these highlights, so far in Europe have done an excellent job. PSG have done well. Marseille have done well. Monaco surprisingly have done well, but it's your Champions League. Lille have done well. Strasbourg are in first place in your Conference League. Lyon are in first place in their Conference League. Europa League, excuse me. So European side, French teams are finally stepping up. And so that's I don't want to say the surprisingly good side, but obviously that's a good thing. But my surprisingly good team would be Lens, but I think that's obvious in this case.
Yeah, of course.
I think we can agree with that. And you can also say Lyon. You said it too, because obviously with the way their situation was. But
signing of the summer. Then we'll wrap it up.
Tyler Morton for Lyon.
Yeah,
I think got him from Liverpool. He's done a very wonderful job helping out that midfield, and it's that balance. I don't want to say shirky, like he's not. No one's going to compare to him, but he definitely has this. It was a very good shrewd signing for only 10 million euros. Plus,
he's not as creative as Cherky, but it definitely dictates the game.
In midfield, yes.
Passing range is excellent. He's technically really good. He's got good football IQ. He plays well with whoever is playing. Like he's gonna be stable in your midfield for years to come.
That's if he's
really really good player.
Yeah.
His form, he deserves to go to World Cup with England if he keeps playing like that. He's in quality. Good player.
He would need to get a trophy, in my opinion, to get something to even get noticed. But yeah, that's beside the point. For me, it's Tyler Morton. I'll be a little biased for
that's
that.
Fair. No, that's a great pick. I'll go Florian Thauvin. No explanation needed. Lens are there fighting for the Ligue 1 title. A lot of it because of his brilliance. So yeah, shout out to him. But yeah, good stuff, Jorge. I think we did a good job. I think we've done ourselves proud.
One last thing for 2026. Do you think the French teams are going to get a 5th spot for Champions League?
No, because of Nice.
Do you think that there will be multiple teams in the round of 16 in Champions League?
No, I think Monaco will fuck up.
Okay. Oh, just figured I'd ask.
Fortunately. Why do you?
I think we could definitely do it. If the playoffs and how they're placed, if Marseille and Monaco don't play each other, I think we have a shot. At least
that would be a fun game, though. Marseille Monaco would be fun because that's a derby. That would be a fun one.
But I think at least PSG will be there because they're in the top 8.
You would think that,
Marseille, depending on who they play against, will be there, and obviously Monaco, depending on who they play. You know, so I think so. I think
fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, big up everybody for joining. I think we've done well, Jorge, on our Ligue midseason review. But yeah, that'll be it from us, people. Take care. Au revoir. And yeah, tune into the channel tomorrow. We've got Monaco versus Lyon. Watch along for that. Watch along for OGC Nice versus my beloved Strasbourg. And then on Sunday, I'll be doing Paris Saint-Germain versus Paris FC. So that'll be fun too. So yeah, take care, everybody. Have a good one and peace out.